Welcome back to the show. We got great highlights from a recent interview from Brad Garlinghouse and eToro and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.37 trillion market cap for crypto. The market's off by 4.6%, but don't you worry none. Bitcoin's 102,000 plus right now, 3,600 plus for Ethereum. Tether snuck back up to the number 3 spot, but XRP is $2.38 after a retrace. We're off 6.2 in the 24 and off 1.2 in the 7-day. We'll keep an eye on it. The range of price here, 218 on the bottom to 254. I was getting ready to hit that buy button and fell asleep last night and I missed it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was getting tired. I saw it at 219. I said, if it just goes just a little more, and I fell asleep. That's what. Sometimes it's not a very complicated or sophisticated answer. I fell asleep. But nonetheless, we know that the RLUSD has launched and they are off, ladies and gentlemen. I bought $1,000 worth of RLUSD on Uphold's platform just to have it. Remember, as a standard remark here, ladies and gentlemen, RLUSD is not something that you can invest in like a crypto. It's a stable coin. It is a digital dollar. So I just want to share that with the group. And very quickly, before we go any further, link to private investing, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I say this to you guys all the time, but I know that there's still so many of you hearing my voice that are thinking, I'm not accredited. How do you know? You got to click the link below and sign up and register so you can find out. Because I tell you, I get messages all the time about people telling me, man, I waited for so long and had no idea that I was actually accredited, or I actually live somewhere where the accreditation is very easy or doesn't even exist. So make sure you click the link, sign up and register. You know who says we can't have it all? We do. So stop saying it to yourself. Click that link below and get some of the best private equity in the world with Link2. All right, let's get back into this thing here. So look, we know that RLUSD is taking off here, and we also know that Tether is in the gun sights of the U.S. government right now. Brad Garlinghouse has even said that USD Tether is being investigated by the United States government. Well, this here from Smoke Dog back in September, just to remind everyone, that there is a report that came out here. It said a new stablecoin bill introduced to U.S. Senate in April would encourage U.S. banks to issue stablecoins and disadvantage non-bank stablecoin issuers and non-U.S. entities such as Tether. I have said this over and over. We don't yet know how the U.S. government feels about USD Tether and Tether the company issuing the only product that the Federal Reserve has ever had. Dollars. Anyway, looking around the rest of the world, boy, isn't that a big one? Isn't that a big one? We all still don't know how the U.S. government truly feels about Tether over a decade later. Yeah, might not want to act like it's too big to fail is what I'm saying. Money Tap is a joint venture between SBI and Ripple. Now, this is very good news just to see adoption taking place and at scale here. To create a payments app, it runs on Ripple and is XRP enabled in select corridors. What have they been up to this year? Engaging Japan's regional banks, and I mean in a big way. Here are 5 banks from 2024 now using Money Tap, and 1 from last fall for good measure. Also note SBI is reporting cumulative international remittances of more than 13 billion US dollars for the year. That is a lot of money. Now, you can see the list of these banks here, Shinomi Shinkin Bank, and then Suwa Shinkin Bank, and many others here. I can't pronounce them very well, but you see them. Nonetheless, some might compare the 200-plus Shinkin banks to kind of a co-op credit union, but they are much larger than the U.S. credit unions, serving communities, small, medium enterprises, and working with Shinkin Central Bank for liquidity management. They play an important role in Japan's banking industry. SBI is a parent company initially. Money Tap was launched by SBI Ripple Asia, a joint venture with Ripple 40%. And in 2019, Money Tap was incorporated as a separate entity, becoming a wholly owned subsidiary of SBI Holdings in 21. Ripple then acquired 33% of that subsidiary. Money Tap's courtship of Six Bank bodes well. They represent a diverse geographical reach with urban rural areas. You can check out the PR below. Note, not every bank is primarily interested in remittances, but the app is gaining traction. And he has here, if he misrepresented Shinkin Bank as he learned across the ocean, note that were some bumps with Coin's PH wallet XRP last year for what it's worth. Nonetheless, this shows you the relationship over in Japan, in that area and region. I'm showing it to you because with the onset and adoption and use of this in the billions of dollars, how much longer before we see a real RL yen, just like the RLUSD? Oh, it's coming. Donald Trump at the New York City Stock Exchange. Take a look at this.
Your embracing of crypto, very different from the previous administration. Strategic Petroleum Reserve like for crypto?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to do something great with crypto because we don't want China or anybody else, and not just China, but others are embracing it, and we want to be the head.
And there you have it. Look, there is big implications from that. Now, some are suggesting just a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Some are suggesting a crypto basket reserve or stockpile, which would be a little less than a reserve status. But nonetheless, take a look at this really quickly, because we'll get back to that point here in a second. Because it is very exciting that we have an administration coming in to change things and embrace crypto and bring this innovation to the fore and make America a leader in the fourth industrial revolution. Cowboy Crypto shares this along with Eleanor Terrett here. Day one priorities for the new SEC administration include seeking stays for ongoing litigation cases that do not involve actual fraud, investor loss, or risk of imminent harm, allowing time to finalize commissioner's approach. Well, here it is right here. Critical. Seek stays for ongoing litigation cases that do not involve actual fraud, investor loss, or risk of imminent harm. This is what we're talking about. Just getting a stay on what the appeal is could be massive to take us to getting legislation for the broad crypto space, a market infrastructure bill, a stablecoin bill. All of this could take us and put us on track within the first 100 days of the administration. Think of it for a moment. Think of what XRP looks like in the way of not only price action, because I know it's the first place everybody goes, but I encourage you to think of it as if we get a stay on this case, knowing there's no fraud, there's no illegal activity, none of that, no one's lost any money. All the wholesale investors on the backside, have made money. They're not upside down. So this is a remarkable thing here. And if they do this at the SEC, imagine the level of adoption that will be brought on by just them staying this decision just to wait for maybe legislation, right? Very, very powerful. Very powerful. And so is this. As we talked about and heard from President Trump, President-elect Trump, he said in that clip, he was asked about a strategic petroleum-like reserve for crypto. And he says, yes, we're going to do something great with crypto. He doesn't say just Bitcoin in that comment. Sean, who is a World Economic Forum member, and we covered this yesterday, is suggesting that he's hearing the Trump transition team and President Trump is considering building a strategic national reserve of American cryptocurrencies such as XRP and HBAR next to Bitcoin. My question to that is how do you know Bitcoin is an American asset? Unless you really reveal who Satoshi is, right? And that begs the question. So I don't think you can make Bitcoin a part of the strategic reserve, and this is not Maxi Talk, without understanding who Satoshi is. And we know that they know who Satoshi is. So we need to get that answer out if they're going to let it play in a strategic reserve, my personal opinion. I think it should be a basket, including Bitcoin, but they should reveal the identities of Satoshi and give up the ghost, because it's complete bullshit. right? It's like they know exactly who it is. Just say it so that way we can get on with it. And if they say it and acknowledge that it is made here in the USA, then we can get on with it knowing that there won't be any capital gains on that also if he follows through with his promise there. Now, here's Brad Garlinghouse, who sat down with eToro. I will have other highlights in the second video, and you won't want to miss any of them. I'm going to give you this first set right here where he still says we still underestimate how big this could be in the next decade or so. Take a listen.
If you compare the cycle of the adoption of the internet, some people say, oh, the internet kind of was born in the late 90s. It's like, well, actually, the internet was born in the early 70s in kind of a U.S. Department of Defense, ARPANET, and then it evolved in the 90s because it became a whole lot easier to use. You went from really defense and military to they added universities. Then along comes HTML and HTTP, and all of a sudden, and really SMTP, and all of a sudden it was now usable. And then you went through 20 or 30 years of growth that we're seeing and experiencing today in the internet as we know it. I think we're still in the 70s and 80s of blockchain and crypto. It's still, we all have this experience. It's still kind of hard to use often. Like we've all probably, many of us have sent crypto to somebody else, and you send a small transaction to make sure it goes through, and you're like, okay, did you get that? And then there's a whole bunch of things that I think will get easier, and by I don't want to say hiding the back end, it's just if we want mass adoption, we need to make it easier in across the board, and that's when the utility and just the opportunity keeps growing, and I think we still underestimate how big this could be in the next decade or so.
No doubt about it. And shout out to the GOAT for putting that clip out. And this underneath of it to follow, according to Grok AI, the .com market capitalization peak of approximately $6.6 trillion for the NASDAQ Composite Index was achieved in March of 2000. 6.6 trillion in the year 2000 would be worth 11.5 trillion in today's dollars. Crypto today has a total market cap of 3.5 trillion, and we haven't even had a crypto IPO boom yet. Let that sink in and lock the F in. You damn right, DAI. You damn right. And then here we have this where Brad Garlinghouse stated that Ripple will utilize their own product, RLUSD, and hints again at real Japanese yen and real euro. Wait for it.
Are you going to be using that in your own products? How will it compare with XRP?
We absolutely will be using our own products. A little bit of history on this. Ripple has for years used stablecoins, U.S. dollar stablecoins in certain corridors, depending upon which currency pairs we're dealing with, customer we're enabling, and frankly, sometimes it has been more efficient. And so we've used Tether in certain circumstances. We've used USDC. In fact, at one point, we were responsible for minting 20% of all USDC. And we kind of realized that there's an opportunity in the market as it continues to grow to, particularly for our customer set around, institutions. We felt like it was an opportunity for us to jump in. Look, I think as you look at the road ahead around stablecoins, I think the market's going to continue to grow a lot. I think when we decided to launch a stablecoin, it was probably about $120 billion market. Today, I think it's just shy of $200 billion. Some smart analysts forecast it's going to be a couple trillion in 5 more years. So I think the market is going to continue to grow for sure. Right now, the U.S. dollar is by far the most important stablecoin, but I think you will see some activity in euro, maybe in yen. We shall see how far down that goes. But look, our goal is to make sure that the XRP ledger is the most efficient, the most trusted, the most utility, and having a stablecoin on the XRPL that is robust, efficient, reputable. Ripple has worked with institutions for years now, and I think we have a very trusted brand. And look, we also have a very large balance sheet that we think, if needed, could be helpful in making the RLUSD or Ripple USD successful.
There is that suggestion right there again that we've got the balance sheet. Should the real USD ever lose its peg the way 18, 19 months ago Circle did, Ripple has the XRP to back it. to underpin that stable coin so it never loses the peg. They can guarantee that thing 24/7, 365. I truly believe that that is a micro example of what the macro goal is, right? That XRP can underpin that stable coin if needed. And as it grows and proves out as a payment token over time, XRP can grow to actually serve the US dollar itself on a global scale. I really do believe that that is the ultimate goal we're going to. And here we see, and it would help if we had a strategic basket of assets with XRP in it now, wouldn't it? Now, how about the conversation going on to ETFs? Let's hear that.
There's been an influx of XRP ETF filings, both in and out of the US. How do you view all of this? How do you view these filings?
Well, I think part of the transition from maybe more speculative retail into more institutional adoption and participation is the ETF step. Certainly, the Bitcoin ETF getting approved, the SEC was dragged kicking and screaming a little bit towards that outcome. But getting the Bitcoin ETF, I think, was a monumental event in terms of expanding the ability for others to participate, particularly institutional investors. So to me, I think I said then publicly that if people would ask me, is there going to be an XRP ETF? And I just look, it's inevitable that there will be an XRP ETF. And now I think I actually don't even know. I think there's 4 or 5 different filings here in the US. I know of at least one in Europe. And, I think it's great. I think it's, again, not surprising. I certainly hope that we'll see some of those approved soon. And we'll see them trading so others can participate in the ecosystem that otherwise might not be able to because they don't want to custody crypto themselves or other reasons that may exist. But I'm excited for sure, and I think it's a great sign not just for XRP, but I think it's a great sign for crypto broadly. I will say, and I think many people.
There you have it. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. And ETFs are going to soak up a lot of XRP in order to have it stored in a qualified custodian 1-to-1 or to a surplus, because that's how that needs to work. And then we see the SEC to approve XRP and Solana joint ETF soon. If we go into this, it's Eric Balkunis and James Seifert from Bloomberg. And basically what they're saying is here, expected delay for XRP Solana. Some crypto analysts claim that an ETF combining XRP and Solana might have to wait a little longer, expecting that a current SEC administration would not permit the traded securities since these digital assets have been involved in legal battles wherein XRP and Solana have been classified as securities. This is unequivocally false. This article is absolutely false. XRP was found to be in and of itself not a security. The transactions on the investor wholesale side were found to be out of compliance because they were supposed to register those filings. That is what is being appealed. But they were not classifying XRP as a security in any of that. Right? So, and at the end of the day, I believe this appeal will reveal that it was a wholesale transaction and none of them are upside down and they're all accredited investors or more. So the reality is, or it's straight up institutions. So the reality of this is I find it to be erroneous, just like Gary Gensler's chairmanship, right? And here we see Stephen McClurg here from Canary Capital, Canary Funds. I want you to hear what he's got to say. And he brings up the enterprise-facing solutions and ETFs for them, like Ripple and HBAR.
I'm still holding on to that price target. Hopefully we get there. But really, the bigger news isn't just price. The bigger news is actually all the enterprise solutions that are going to come out of this presidency. So it's not just Bitcoin. We've got Ripple that's building a Stablecoin that launches on Tuesday. We've got HBAR that's launching enterprise solutions.
We really do. And shout out to Stephen McClurg for making that amazing point, because as I said, you're going to have at some point a demand for the financial system to use these enterprise solutions like XRP, Ripple's itself, the company, XRP, the asset, HBAR. You know, this is really remarkable to me when you see that utility come into play and then the ETFs being launched and a demand to scoop up that asset while retail's just sitting back waiting because we've got our bags full. Here's Crypto Bull. He says, it still looks like XRP is repeating the 2017 pattern. Look at what this is. Boy, if this ain't a thing of beauty right here. I'd like to get Egg Rag Crypto take a look at this. By the way, shout out to Egg Rag Crypto, who just got followed by Elon Musk. I told you Egg Rag Crypto was the real deal. You better give him a follow and sign up for his course. It looks like XRP is repeating the 2017 pattern. We repeated the first monthly candle from March 2017 and hit the 196 target. Next would be $6.28 by the end of this month and around $40 by the end of January 25 if it repeats what we've just seen. What we know is that we've already got the first candle underway. So will the next two candles repeat? That is the question. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. We're going into the Freedom Zone, and boy, do I hope you join me. We are going to hear from people who talk about the weaponization of government and what we could expect as we move into a new administration. And it's quite terrifying, to be perfectly honest. And I don't say that to be an alarmist, but we all need to be aware of the potential threats that are out here. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. You can too. Go to digperspectives.com, click the Freedom Zone, come on in for next to nothing. Great way to support the channel. We're super grateful for each and every one of you. Hit the like and subscribe and share, and come on in. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.